blessed morning to you all, blessed people on this channel, CPNG and Online Money Channel, and in Grand Community. How are you all doing today? I hope you're doing well. How was your night? I hope you had a pleasant night. Glory be to God for the gift of life and good health. We thank God for sustaining us and for keeping us alive to witness this blessing that is about to be released unto us. Glory be to his name forever. May his name be praised forever and ever. I want to quickly use this time to address an issue and correct a notion based on the thing that is in rife, based on what is going on in Grand Community. This is my own observation concerning or about the thing I'm seeing on social media and in different platforms, especially the VN that some of you sent to me in my private chats yesterday concerning stakeholders and payment of stakeholders, whether the stakeholders have been paid, and some are saying stakeholders are not paid, they are yet to be paid, and so on and so forth. A whole lot of contradiction, conflicting updates and VNs and as one another, conflicting updates and several issues on Grand Community. I just want to address that matter based on my own understanding of what is going on, or the way I see it. Are you getting me now? Today is Friday now. Today is Friday, 9th of 9th of May, or May 9, 2025. Okay, tomorrow is Saturday. Um, disbursement issue, or the issue concerning disbursement that we are hearing that is flying everywhere on social media. Today we will hear that the stakeholders has been paid. Money has entered the account of the stakeholders, and we are only expecting the grant handlers to get paid, and after which, um, what is it called, NGOs NGOs will be paid, and so on and so forth. Okay, I think I just address this matter because the issues are conflicting each other and they are contradicting uh, one another. Are you getting it now? Because we are hearing and we are seeing several write-ups and hearing several audios update about stakeholders and NGOs and so on and so forth. Last week or 2 weeks ago, we heard that the stakeholders have been paid. Money has entered the account of stakeholders. Okay. And again, another update that I had yesterday that some of you sent to me yesterday was saying the stakeholders are yet to be paid. Which one should we believe? That stakeholders are yet to be paid. The moment the stakeholders are paid, disbursement will start to beneficiaries and all that. Okay. I think where we are getting it wrong, what is confusing, or where we got it confused in Grand Community, is in this area of knowing who the stakeholders, or who the stakeholders are in grant affairs in Grand Community. What is stakeholders, or who are stakeholders? I think we need to define it and get it straightened out. All right, because that is where I perceive the conflicting issues are coming from. Knowing who are stakeholders, okay, and who are not stakeholders. This should be addressed properly, so that we will not be confusing ourselves. Okay. The stakeholders are in two folds, or in two categories, as far as I'm concerned. When you hear the phrase, or you see the phrase called stakeholders, they are in two categories. There are government stakeholders, okay, and there are stakeholders from our side in Grand Community. Okay. There are two categories of stakeholders in grant affairs in this country. There are two categories of people that can be referred to, or that are referred to as stakeholders. There are some group of people that are in government setup. There are group of people from government side. There are NGOs government NGOs or NGOs that are from government side that are involved in this grant matter. They later came in. They didn't start with us when we started this grant issue. They were nowhere to be found. But somewhere along the line, since last year, I think late last year or thereabouts, and early this year, it was even last year, they got involved. They got to know about this issue, of grant disbursement, and they got involved. Somehow they got involved. The government people, they created their own NGOs. They have their own NGO and brought in their own NGO, in order to be able to retain the money, the fund, because there was a time that IMF stepped into the matter and they wanted to take the remaining money. They want to take the remaining money. They want to take the remaining money over from CBN. All right. So in order to share the money, to make the money go round, so that there won't be any leftover, governments produced or provided their own NGOs. Okay, which was the reason behind, some other slots that cropped up some time ago, that are being referred to as NGO, as government NGO slot, pioneer slot, and so on and so forth. That was the reason behind the slots that later crop up in grand community, that people start registering NGOs other government umbrella. People start registering NGO. You remember then that we were hearing about government NGOs, all right, and along the line, you know, some other slots came up, like Pioneer slot, CBN slot, and all that. Those slots were provided, or they later came in order to retain the fund, so that there won't be any leftover that will be taken over, or taken away by the IMF. All right. So, in a nutshell, this video or this particular update is to just lay this matter to rest, to explain the confusion that is being brought into grand community by the word stakeholders. Stakeholders. A lot of people does not understand the meaning of stakeholders. They don't know who stakeholders are, and as a result of that, they are bringing in conflicting issues and contradicting update concerning stakeholders. Today, you will hear that the stakeholders have been paid. I mean, last week we heard that the stakeholders have been paid since 2 weeks ago, and all of a sudden, some of you sent me a VN that I listened to yesterday, and the person was saying the stakeholders are yet to be paid. The stakeholders should have been paid if not for the system breakdown that occurred last night, and so on and so forth. These are contradicting issues that's bringing about confusion in grand community. A lot of people are getting it wrong, are getting it twisted. Okay, let's clarify this issue of stakeholders by defining uh, those that are stakeholders, by defining stakeholders. Who are stakeholders? Like I was saying, the issue of stakeholders are in two categories. There are government stakeholders, all right? The people that came up, the people that got into or got involved in grant disbursement matter, from government side, the government people that brought in their own NGOs later last year, all right? Instead of them to be referred to as grant handlers, they are referred to as stakeholders. That is stakeholders in government parastatals, in government side. There are stakeholders in government side. There are stakeholders in our own side, in NGO side, in grant handler side. There are stakeholders. So the stakeholders are divided into two categories. Some stakeholders belong to government. The other one belongs to our side here. Are you getting it now? So when we are talking about stakeholders being paid, or stakeholders are being paid, or something, or stakeholders are yet to be paid, we need to clarify it so that we don't confuse ourselves. All right. The government stakeholders are being referred to, the government NGOs are being referred to as stakeholders. Those ones are being paid, they have been taken care of. They have been taken care of. So they just have to settle those ones first so that they will allow us breathe. So that they will allow the people in the people in grand community, civilians, the citizens that are not government, that are not government parastatals, so that they can allow us rest. Okay, if they were not taken care of, earlier or initially, if they are not taken care of first, they wouldn't have allowed, we wouldn't have settled down now. This thing wouldn't have gotten to the stage that we are now. But because the government parastatals, the government NGOs have been taken care of, which is also referred to as stakeholders, instead of them to be called grant handlers, all right, because there are the categories of grant handlers too. The government NGOs, the government parastatals that brought in their NGOs in grant community, they were to be referred to as grant handlers as well because they are of the same category with the grant handlers in grant community. But because in order to decipher or to differentiate between them, because they can't just be referred to as grant handlers too, the government parastatals or the government NGOs and the grant handlers in grant community, they have to differentiate between them, even though they are also grant handlers, because the money has been shared to them to disburse to their own, to the people that subscribe under their own NGOs. But the way to differentiate between them and the grant handlers in grant community, it is called stakeholder. That's why they are being referred to as stakeholders. So the first stakeholders or the major stakeholders in grant community are the government NGOs, the government parastatals, the government people that brought in their NGOs in grant community. So they are the stakeholders. And those ones have been paid earlier. They have been settled. And it's because they have been settled that we, on our own side, the citizen, here, the non-governmental organization that we are here, that's the reason why we have been able to go this far. That's the reason why we have been able to achieve this progress that we are all seeing in grant community now. If the government people, the government NGOs, or the government stakeholders were not settled earlier, we wouldn't have achieved this great height that we have achieved in grant community now. So the whole thing is almost settled now. We have gone far in the process of this grant community, or in grant disbursement process that we are now. We have gone so far, and the reason behind this progress or this success that we have achieved to this extent is because of the fact that the stakeholders, the government stakeholders, have been settled. They have been settled. Their check has been signed. It has been dumped into their account. Their check has been signed, but it is yet to be cleared. And what is holding them? What is holding them now for their check to be cleared, to be finally cleared, so that they can have access to the fund, is because of the fact that the stakeholders here on our own side, which are the grant handlers, the grant handlers are being referred to as the stakeholders on our own side here. We have our side, we have government side. So the whole thing is divided. The kingdom or the empire is divided into two. We have government side, we have our own side here, not governmental or not government side, which are the NGOs here. Are you getting it? So the stakeholders on government side has been settled. The check has been dumped, has been paid or dislodged into their account. Although it is not cleared yet, in the sense that they can't access the fund now. They can't access the fund now. And the reason why they can't access the fund now is because they are waiting for this side, the stakeholders on this side, to be settled. Are you getting that? Which is what will have happened yesterday, if not for the system disruption, as in the network that was down the day before yesterday. Are you getting it? So, and they are working on it. Since the system has been restored back, the system is back and functioning optimally. So it will be resolved this week. We are expecting it to be resolved even yesterday, Thursday, and today, Friday. All right. So the moment the stakeholders on this side, on our side, which are also referred to as the grant handlers, the moment they are settled this week, okay, which will have happened this week on Monday or Tuesday, if not for the system, if not for the network that was broken down or that was affected, that was shut down, they will have been settled this week. The stakeholders on this side, don't forget, I said the stakeholders on this side are also referred to as the grant handlers. The grant handlers, our grant handlers here, are still referred to as the stakeholders. They are referred to as the stakeholders here. Are you getting it? And they are the ones that will be settled, that they are to be settled this week. Once they are settled, if not for the system shutdown or the system failure, the network failure that happened, that affected the process, The stakeholders on this side will have been settled this week. So when you hear or when you see an update or you see a write-up or hear an update concerning referring to stakeholders, so we need to differentiate them, saying the stakeholders have not been paid. Whereas 2 weeks ago or thereabout, we heard that stakeholders have been paid. Check has been signed and dumped into their account. And again, we saw another update again yesterday saying the stakeholders are yet to be paid. So the conflicting issue there is that they were not no, they were not specified. The people giving those such updates did not specify them. Did not explain the stakeholders they are referring to, which brought about confusion, and people are deluded and confused about what is going on. 2 weeks ago or thereabout, or 3 weeks ago, we heard that stakeholders has been paid, check has been signed, and dislodged in the account of stakeholders. And yesterday again, we are hearing that the stakeholders are yet to be paid. The stakeholder will be paid this week. What is this conflicting issues all about? So the problem is the people giving the update did not specify, probably because they don't know what they are talking about themselves. They did not explain the stakeholders they are referring to. So therefore, I'm using this time and this medium and this update to clarify it so that people do not get confused, so that you get it straight. Stakeholders are in two categories, like I said earlier. In two categories, government stakeholders are there, and we have our own stakeholders here on our side, not governmental organization. Okay, our own stakeholders here are the grant handlers. The grant handlers in grant community are referred to as stakeholders. Okay, and the grant handlers or the government NGOs on their side are referred to as the first class stakeholders, the batch one stakeholders. Are you getting it? So that is the first aspect of stakeholders. The government NGOs that brought in their NGOs, the government people that brought in their NGOs, in grant affairs, they were referred to as stakeholders. So those ones has been settled 2-3 weeks ago. Their check has been signed, and because their check has been signed and dislodged into their account, that is why we can breathe on this side. Okay, and that is the reason behind the progress we have achieved in grant community to this extent. Are you getting it? If not that they have been settled earlier, some weeks ago, we wouldn't have achieved this. They wouldn't have allowed us to breathe. They will have still been coming up with different policy that will disrupt the progress and delay the process. Are you getting it? So thank God they have been settled. Check has been signed for them 3 weeks ago or thereabout. Okay, but the stakeholder that is yet to be settled, that is about to be settled, that ought to have been settled this week, if not for the system disruption and the network failure, that Mrs. Ngozi Israel referred to as system breakdown that she was shouting some days ago. Okay, it's simply system disruption, as in network failure. The network was down. Are you getting it now? And if not for that, the stakeholders on this side, which are referred to as the grant handlers, they will have been settled this week, which I believe the process has started yesterday, since the network is up and running again. So hopefully today they will be settled, and the moment they are settled, the next week disbursement will commence for subscribers by the special grace of God. So these are the issues that brought about confusion in grant community concerning stakeholders matter. Eh? So this is just the explanation, the simple explanation concerning stakeholders matter. So when you hear that stakeholders has been paid 3 weeks ago, and you are still hearing that stakeholders will be settled or will be paid this week, don't be confused. There are two categories of stakeholders. It's just that the people giving us spreading the update, they didn't clarify it, they didn't explain it. Thereby people are confused when they hear stakeholders to be settled again. So that is just the simple explanation concerning it. So let's be rest assured. Let's relax and be calm and be focused and be peaceful. Okay? Entertain peace, accommodate peace in your mind. There is no disruption, no network failure, no delay of any sort. The progress, we have achieved so much progress and everything, and the process is in top gear. Okay? Next week, everything will be resolved. Everything disbursement should commence next week. All things being equal, disbursement should commence next week. Today, if they can use today to clear the check of the stakeholders, which are the NGO, the NGOs, okay, and the grant handlers, the moment they are cleared, today. From next week, Tuesday or Wednesday, we should be hearing the good news of alert for the subscribers. Okay, so that is just the matter that I came on here. I came on here to clarify, because when I got the VN yesterday, that some of you sent me the VN talking about stakeholders not being paid, and some of you are confused about that phrase. That you are now wondering that which stakeholder again? I thought the stakeholders have been cleared, have been paid 3 weeks ago. How come they are saying stakeholders are to be paid again, based on the VN that I had yesterday, talking about stakeholders not being paid, or the stakeholders will be paid this week, will have been paid this week, if not for the system shutdown. Are you getting it? So I just deem it fit that I should come on here and clarify it and explain it, so that people don't get confused about the word stakeholders when they are hearing stakeholders. Okay, so that is just how it is. Thank you and God bless you. So stay tuned on this channel for more authentic and verified update concerning our disbursement, and also for online businesses that you can do, legit online business that you can do with your mobile phone at the confine of your home comfortably, and in making money for yourself legitimately without any hassle. All right. So that is what we do here on this channel, CP NGO and Online Money channel. You are welcome. If today is your first time of coming to this channel, we welcome you officially. My name is Prince Adiola, aka Christ Prince, or CP for short, and this is my channel. So stay tuned for more verified and authentic update concerning a grant disbursement, another humanitarian project or program, and several online businesses that you can do with your mobile phone and make money at the comfort of your home. Thank you, and I'll see you tomorrow with another powerful update.